What is up, gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode on the channel. As always, so glad to have you guys back on here. On today's episode, I wanted to take a deep dive into the world of meditation, give you a practical guide, not only on how to think about meditation, how to think about the benefits of meditation, but also how to meditate. This is a often overcomplicated topic that I'm going to simplify down for you, but I want to start off by identifying why and how you should meditate. Why should you meditate? Well, understand that meditation is just essentially the focus and the act of being present, of tuning out the rest of the world and trying to be as present as possible, to focus on one core thing at a time. What are the benefits of meditation and how can this enhance our day-to-day lives? Probably you've heard of this topic before, and if you might have tried it. You might have tried to meditate once, twice, maybe even 10 times and noticed no tangible benefits. Is meditation this thing where once you do it and if you achieve sort of true enlightenment, that all of a sudden that you're going to be levitating, you're going to have superpowers that you never have had before? Some of the people tell us that meditation is the be all and all to improving your life. And though part of that may be true, it's a stepping stone in the right direction. Meditation is simply that, a stepping stone. It's a beautiful stepping stone, one that can allow you to reduce your overall sense of anxiety, allow you to take a step back, to focus more on the things that matter, tune out the things that don't matter, and ultimately to refresh your perspective on life. And I want to start off by mentioning that meditation is just part of a larger puzzle. Don't overcomplicate it and don't hold it up on a larger pedestal than you need to. Meditation is just the act of sitting down with yourself, focusing on one specific thing for a prolonged period of time. Many people tell you to start off by focusing on the breath. The breath is a great way to start because you get, number one, the act of actually breathing, of taking a breath in and a breath out. There's steady breath work to be done there. And it's also a physical sensation that you can sense, right? The air coming into your lungs, blowing up your chest, and then the air going out of your lungs, the feeling on your throat. All of these things really serve as key points for you to be able to focus on. At the same time, you're oxygenating yourself, so the breath is always a great place to start. For me personally, I like to focus on sounds. And sounds are a little bit more complicated, but what I prefer about sounds more than breath is the idea that you can really narrow in on one core thing. I use an app called Calm, but you can use any app that you want. And what I do is I focus on a nature scene, something that has a variety of sounds, but I get to focus on one specific sound from the scenery that I'm being given. And what that allows me to do is to just tune out pretty much everything else and just focus on that one thing. For me, it might be birds chirping. It allows me to really be 100% focused on zeroing in on the things that matter and tune out the things that don't matter. So how does one meditate? What is a practical guide towards meditation? Typically, meditation will happen in specific periods of time. You'll want to give yourself a time cap just to go through and to meditate accordingly. When you're starting off, you may want to start off in sections of 5 minutes. I think that's a great starting point for any single person. And then go into sections of 5, 5, 5 as you scale up. When you meditate, you have to understand that focus on the one thing, whether that's the sound of a bird, whether that's the humming noise of your AC, whether that is the breath, right? The way that it feels on your throat, whether that's the expansion of your lungs and the contraction of your lungs. Be hyper specific over focusing on one thing. Then you need to understand and to accept the concept of equanimity. What is equanimity? Equanimity is the okayness with things not being okay. Most people think of meditation as this idea that when I do it, it needs to be perfect. I need to have this complete 10 minutes of uninterrupted meditation where I'm highly focused on that one point, that one thing, and no one else and nothing else can distract me. And if even 1 second, 1%, even 10% of my meditation is distracted, then it's a failed meditation. That's contrary and counteractive to the act of meditation. Even if you achieve 10 seconds of meditation and the rest is just you getting distracted, but pulling yourself back into the meditation, consider each time you pull yourself back into your meditation as a rep. Just as you go to the gym and you put in reps with your weights, the same is true when your attention gets pulled away from the thing that you're meditating on and then back. If anything, when you're starting off, it is encouraged, be distracted, get distracted, but pull yourself back in. Pull your focus back into that one thing that you're meditating on and do this consistently. Don't be deterred by the fact that you're not noticing benefits in 1 week, 2 weeks, or even 1 month. Just the act of consistency allows you to get that much better every day. And take it from me, take it from the thousands of people that are preaching meditation online, that it does truly make a fundamental difference in your life. It allows you to slow things down. It helps you both physically and mentally. It helps you get better sleep. It helps you be more present with the people when you speak to them. It allows you to get your words across in a more clear and concise way. It allows you to slow down your heartbeat, your blood pressure if you have that. All of these things are major positives that have profound impacts in how you live your day-to-day life. So get started with something as simple as possible. Have the equanimity to understand and to accept that your meditation session is not going to be perfect, and just be consistent. I'll leave some links down below towards great meditation and guided meditation practices that you can follow. Usually for me, I like to just follow something that is not a guided meditation or a spoken meditation. I think that those can be a little bit overwhelming and counterintuitive towards the end purpose, which is just being with yourself and focusing. Sure, as a starting point, Calm's introductory session or introductory course into meditation is a great example with David Warren, but you might want to graduate from that in the future and just go towards something that's more of a natural meditation of just sounds and just the sensations of your breath. Now that we've discussed how to meditate and how to get into meditation, you guys are still here. Let's look quickly at some practical physical benefits and mental benefits of meditation. And believe me, I can attest to each of these benefits and how they have an actual impact in your day-to-day. First is going to be improved sleep quantity and quality. So you're going to find it easier just to get to sleep. If you're someone that has insomnia, someone that struggles with just falling asleep, this is a great way to calm things down. A meditation session before bed can really go a long way towards just clearing out the waves of your brain and just the way that you're thinking and any sort of anxieties that you have at the end of the day. And the quality of your sleep, the depth of your sleep, the refreshness that you feel at the end of your sleep, this is going to be significantly improved as you up your meditation, as you're consistent in your meditation practice. 2, it's going to help you to reduce your stress and your anxiety. What is stress and what is anxiety? We all know stress as this thing that can appear out of nowhere and we feel a jolt, but that's not the stress that most people feel. That is acute stress. That's stress that is based off of specific events and specific triggers. What more people and most people deal with that is much more sinister than that acute stress is chronic stress. Stress that is consistent throughout their lives, that is wearing down on them both mentally and physically without us realizing. And this is what meditation can help you with. Sure, it'll allow you to deal with the situations of acute stress much better. When they come up, you'll be able to react to them in a much more calm and consistent way. But even more than that, that consistent chronic stress that is operating in the background, this is the stress that you'll really notice start to dissipate. The energy will start to be taken away from that stress. Same is true for anxiety. Also, it's going to do a great job as it gets rid of that chronic stress to just lower your resting heart rate, your blood pressure. And over a long-term effect, in a long-term period, this is going to be insanely beneficial, especially if you're someone who has a high-stress job. Lastly, you're going to have boosted immune functions. Because your body is not always operating on overdrive, especially when it doesn't need to, you're going to be able to just fight away your immune system is going to be fight away diseases and other intruders on a much better scale on a day-to-day basis. So we've discussed the physical benefits. What are the mental benefits? And again, these are things that I can personally attest to. And as someone who runs a company, who lives a pretty physical day-to-day life through my fitness and tries as much as he can to stay in touch with people that he loves, this is majorly beneficial, is that it increases your focus and your overall concentration. Most people think of their day-to-day activities as just going to the work, but you don't understand that the level of focus and concentration that you bring to each and every task really is going to dictate the outcomes that you receive from that specific task. There could be 2 people and the same person can sit in a chair for 1 hour. And then the same person can sit in the chair for 1 hour. Person A, who is going to be meditating, who is going to have a higher level of focus and concentration, believe me, can get up to 2x the work just simply by being more focused and concentrated and creating a higher quality of output. This is what I'm talking about. It's not only about the amount of hours you're able to put in, but the quality of the output of the work that you're able to extract. You'll also notice better emotional regulation and overall stability. Your highs, sure, may not be as high, but your lows certainly will not be as low. You'll notice overall a much better standard of daily stability and emotional regulation. This is a super underrated benefit that most people don't think of. What a joy it is to just know every single day that you're going to have a baseline of emotional stability that most people are not going to be able to achieve. You won't feel those pulls and those jars towards the upper ends and the lower ends of the spectrum. You're going to always be able to operate from a position of foundational strength, of emotional stability and emotional clarity. And this is extremely important. Lastly is going to be the sense of inner peace and just an increased overall calm. This may come in the way that you react to things, in the way that you respond to people, the way that you speak about certain things. You have an inner peace, and I can't describe it in any better way than it just feels like a warmth inside the center part of your chest. It's a warmth also in your throat. It allows you to have just a little bit more smoothness in everything you do, in how you move, in how you speak. Everything just feels less sharp and more natural and more flowy. This is what consistent meditation allows you to do. It just gives you this overarching theme and air of peace, quiet, and inner calm.